And good morning. Welcome to Mass All Rise. And that means every one of you this week. I'm not.
Yeah.
And none of this taking a kneel crap.
Yeah, I ain't going to fly here.
That might happen later in the service, but that's part of the service.
America.
Damn straight. No, please be seated. We're glad that you're here this morning. As you can see, our crawl is behind us.
Oh, well.
So maybe we should move this up
convenient.
a little bit. And then scrolling text should go about here.
Yeah.
Or so.
Yeah.
No, it's not there. Should be. Okay, we're here this morning, and a big show is planned. We hope that you'll stay with us for the entire, there it is, show today. About an hour or so of your time. No sermon. We cut out the sermon and we bring the savings to you.
Yeah, it's going to be an hour or until either the camera battery or laptop battery goes dead, whichever comes first.
It's a sure bet. Take it, if you will. I'm Luke Gallagher.
I am Corbett Ronnie.
And today we thought what we do is jump right into one of our most favorite segments, according to you, our viewers, which is called Mantasy Draft. And if you're new to the program, welcome. Nice to have you here. Thanks for joining us in our little church. And today we're going to do all-time best TV sitcoms.
Yeah.
And we say sitcoms to really narrow it down so that it's not best TV comedies or movies. Okay, this is sitcoms.
Yeah.
Since the dawn of time.
Yes, we're going back.
Okay.
This is going to be, some of these may predate. I was thinking about this last night because there's some that I loved growing up.
Yep.
Like, I'm just going to say one that I don't think anyone would pick, The Munsters.
Okay.
I thought The Munsters was freaking hilarious, but I don't think that some of our viewers were
know
around.
That show?
It was freaking in black and white, and that may have been part of the allure of it. May have been filmed in black and white on purpose.
I think it was.
But
Eddie Munster in his ears.
Yes. Yeah.
Grandpa in his drag racer. It's a show for the ages.
Fred Gwynn.
Yeah, absolutely. Come on.
I was just talking to somebody about Fred Gwynn the other day. He was in it might have been yesterday. We were talking about, it was with Adam at the radio station.
Oh, okay.
Fred Gwynn was in the first iteration of the movie It. Stephen King.
It or Pet Sematary.
I'm sorry, you're right.
Yeah.
It's Pet Sematary.
Okay, so the way that the draft works on our show is this. Normally it's a fantasy draft, which in a sense it is, but we call it a Mantasy Draft. And we give it a topic, and then we each come up with what we believe will be a winning team by picking 3. Now, the way that we do that is by Rochambeau, and that determines who gets to pick first. What's the advantage? Well, you get the first one out of the gate, but you can defer and go second. When that happens, you actually get 2 picks in a row. It's called a snake draft.
Right.
Okay, and what we would like for you, if you're new, if you guys are joining us every Sunday morning, it's kind of like become a habit, I think, for a lot of folks.
Yeah, so we're going to need suggestions because, honestly, I think I have 2 pretty solid ones. My third one is a little bit up in the air because, again, I'm not sure if I want to go too far back and, eliminate part of our audience or if I just want to stay kind of contemporary.
Well, our demographic, according to YouTube stats, our demographic is men. We've talked about this before, which is really interesting because it's 100% men, 0% women. And we have at least 3 to 5 ladies in our live chat every single week, and we can't understand it. Now, demographically, as I was saying, the age that we're very big with is 45 plus.
Yeah. Oh, so we should be all right.
I think so. If for some reason you don't know the show, then I don't know, maybe you can Google it, or maybe you'll want to watch it.
Yeah.
We have something here in Sacramento, Channel 374 on Comcast, which is called Me TV. And they show a lot of these comedies that we're probably going to share today. But you may have one in your particular area too. It's kind of like a non-digital cable channel.
Right.
So MeTV shows all these things like Gomer Pyle.
Yeah, great show. Gomer Pyle USMC.
Yeah. Well, golly, shame, Barney.
So anyway, start throwing your suggestions for best sitcoms in the chat.
And speaking of the chat, Ronnie, why don't you find out who's...
Sasha's first in.
No way.
Yep, she is up early. Rick Clemenson. Just saw Rick yesterday. Actually, we saw Rick and Cray and Matt out at our Autorama yesterday.
Right, we'll tell you about that a little later.
Yeah, it was nice seeing them. Anon, Jimmy Fast, Jim Black, Anon, Sasha, Anon. There's Jason.
Sledneck says, "Good morning, parishioners."
Wow, and Jimmy Fast, he's done a little proclamating here, or
oh boy,
or thinking ahead of the game. He says Corvette Ronnie is going to lie today. Let's see, Jason, Slednick, Sasha, Steve Klein.
Hi, bud.
Hi, Steve. I'm in.
Just so you know, Ronnie actually has the live chat on his computer, on his laptop here.
Yes.
And I don't, because it takes up too much CPU usage. So I have to look at his screen. Sometimes you'll see me looking over there.
And there's Otis. Otis made it in too.
Mr. Magoo, I call him.
Yep.
Mr. Magoo. Mr. Magoo wants a shirt, by the way. Oh, and speaking of shirts.
Oh, we've sold some.
Oh, yeah, we've sold
it's exciting.
Some. Here's, I've asked you to get your shirt and then take a picture.
Right.
So we got a picture. I was going to put it up on this screen, but I didn't. We ran out of time.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
okay,
that's right.
So this is, let's see, how can I do this? This is Rick Clemenson with his shirt on. You can see our lighting.
You know what? That looks good on right
It does.
there.
And you know what? It fits him to a T.
Fits him to a T.
So if you send us your picture with your shirt on, we will show it on our show. By next week, I'll have some of these uploaded and I can put them on the screen as well.
Golly.
So I wanted to let you know that today, down in the description under the logo, Men Are So Smart, it gives you all the information on how you can get your very own Men Are So Smart t-shirt. They're going like hotcakes. And wear them proudly.
I don't eat hotcakes anymore. So in this
That's
house...
not non-keto.
They're not keto. So in this house, they wouldn't be going at all.
I'm into waffles right now. That's at our house.
Dustin's here, by the way.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So you'll find the description where you can shop. That's on Facebook Marketplace. And you can shop there. You can see the T-shirts. You can see the sizes. And then when you wish to purchase your T-shirts, I'd suggest, that's what Rick did. This is Rick Clemenson I just showed you the picture of. He bought two.
Right.
And he wanted the gray one to wear, which he did yesterday.
Yes.
And he wanted the white one autographed. Now, if you want that, we can make it happen, but it's going to be a little harder. And it's not so that we can make more money, but that means 2 shipping stops.
Right.
Because the T-shirts come to us from Colorado.
Yep.
And they, if you want it autographed, they have to come to me.
Right.
And then Ronnie and I sign them, and then we'd have to mail them out again. So there's a little extra shipping in that. And maybe you don't care about an autograph. That's fine, too.
Yeah.
If I owe you money, I write you a check. You get my autograph there. Like I write a check, Ronnie. Seriously.
You're one of those guys at the grocery store that still writes a check.
Grocery store? You're implying that I actually go to a store, and that's not true. Ronnie, I went to a party Friday night.
I can't even believe it.
I know. I socialized.
I swear.
With real people, too.
If I would have seen you, I would have said, "Who are you?"
Right.
And what have you done?
What did
with
you
the
do with
real
Lou? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is he in the trunk of your car somewhere? You did a face-off thing. You kind of surgically removed his face.
Like that Jason Momoa commercial.
Oh,
where
yeah.
He
Where he removes his arms.
Yeah.
And yeah.
He's got pencil-thin arms in that. It's so funny.
That's disturbing.
It is, very. And then when he takes that wig off,
oh, God.
My wife went, oh, that's not right. Anyway, let's see. So the descriptor below has the link to the PayPal account where you can purchase your shirts. And I want to once again mention that you can get any size from small to 3XL for $20.
Yep.
And the shipping is free in the United States. We worked really hard to be able to do that for you. It cuts right into the bottom line.
There's some really good sitcoms coming up on the chat.
Okay, well, let's talk about them because I'm about ready to do our draft.
Cosby Show. Ooh, too soon? He's still in prison. Yeah, it might be too soon. It was funny.
It was
fun.
I'm not going to go there.
Sledneck also says The Middle. Did you ever watch The Middle?
Once. I saw one episode of that.
It was really good. It's very similar to...
but who said that?
Sledneck.
Sledneck?
Yep.
Are you comparing that to, say, I don't know, All in the Family? You think that's the same quality show? I don't know. I don't think it was on for years and years and years.
It is good.
It didn't have lead and very, very funny.
Alice.
Okay. Alice.
Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Danny DeVito.
Yes.
That's, again, a very eclectic kind of show and humor.
And Good Times. Yep.
Dynamite.
So those are some of the ones coming in. There's some good ones on there. I haven't seen the ones that I'm picking yet.
Well, I have a list of about 10, Ronnie. So I guess without further ado, you've gotten enough suggestions from our viewers. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Straight ahead is our mailbag, by the way.
Oh, wait. Slednick saying he's too young for All in the Family.
Really? Sledneck? I thought you were like 45 or so.
Yeah.
Not that I know. I just... it's weird. We don't get to see our listeners and our viewers.
Yeah, I know.
And I say listeners because we have podcasts too.
Yeah. Well, but it was so... We have super nice viewers. We got to talk to 3 of them yesterday. We talked for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And then, like, holy cow, it's freaking time to go.
Right.
So, yeah, it was great. We have very engaging viewers.
Oh, we love spending time with them too. We really do, and we really do enjoy your emails with your questions. So keep sending those.
Yep.
Our email address, you can find it going across the screen. Okay, so Ronnie, I should tell you, this morning I texted Ron before I left the house. I said, should I bring the heater? And what did you say, butt face?
I said, I don't need it, but I'm a little bit tougher than you are.
What was that? What was that? That was in church. Tougher than you. Okay. All right. Oh, Rochambeau. Okay, ready, Ron?
Yeah.
Let me warm my hands real quick.
Get it out here.
Yeah. Okay, so I know what I'm going with. Here we go.
Okay.
Oh, man. That happens the last 3 weeks in a row.
It's a good thing I didn't go with what I was going to go with. This could go on all day.
Maybe we've been doing this too long.
Maybe we should just pick a number between 1 and 10, and I'll tell you if you're right.
Oh, that sounds fair. Okay, ready? We're both in each other's head.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Ready?
God.
I told you we were going to go an hour. I'm not sure anymore. Okay, all right. Come on, let's... Oh, you know what? Maybe this is what I need. Hold on. Okay. All right, here we go.
Okay. Yes!
Damn it.
Ugh.
Finally.
Yes.
All right, Ronnie, you can go first or you can defer, whichever you like.
I have to go first.
Okay.
Because I think this first pick, I think it's the winner.
Well, that's yet to be determined, Ron.
It's on numerous platforms as being numero uno of all time. Friends.
Oh, I wish you hadn't taken that one.
Yep. Friends is my number 1. Now,
Okay.
Please
all right.
take 2.
Jennifer Aniston, anything she does, I'm all over.
Big fan.
Yeah.
Big fan.
I wish.
Yep.
But yeah, Friends gave us so many little nuances, like Jennifer Aniston's hair.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Yes.
And the way Chandler would always ask or make a statement by asking a question.
Yeah.
And Joey, what I loved with him was when he would be acting in his soap opera.
Oh, yes.
And then he'd give one of those looks like.
It's kind of a Blue Steel look.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, so then I'm going to go with my first pick in the first round, actually the second pick of the first round. And I am going to go with Seinfeld.
Oh, dang.
Neener, Corvette Ronnie.
Yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, I got to go again.
Yeah.
And they are spectacular.
Yes.
I don't know who the most annoying person was on that show, whether it was Jason or Elaine Bennett. Bennis, I think her name was. Oh my God, I could not see how she could ever get a boyfriend.
Yeah. Well, and what's funny is I still use, so when my wife calls me and her thing pops up, I answer the phone. Hello, Vicky. Except I say Vicky.
Oh, and God, what about Kramer?
Oh, you know what? I watched him on a show. It was a Saturday Night Live type show. It was called Fridays. Way before he was on Seinfeld. He was
I remember that
bizarre
show.
And crazy.
He used to play with tanks in a sandbox.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, man. He's out there in real life. I think he is out there.
Okay, so I have picked Seinfeld, and Ronnie has Friends.
Yep.
And so now I have the second pick, my second pick, but it's the first pick in the second round. And I'm going to go with, The Andy Griffith Show.
Okay. See, I told Vicky about this last night. I said one of the... I mean, it really is. It's a super funny show. Otis was in jail, and Barney's little nip it in the bud. There are a lot of very funny things out of that show, but it really, to me, it was more of a show. Every show had a moral.
Exactly.
There's a moral to the story. Yes.
A lesson was taught.
So I said, I'm not sure it's... I mean, technically...
are you saying it's not a sitcom?
Technically...
Oh, it's a sitcom.
It's a sitcom.
Oh, for sure.
But it's a sitcom with a moral lesson.
Well, because it's great TV, that's why.
Yes. All right, now I got two.
Yeah, you got two. Your first pick was Friends. I wish I would have had that one because that was top of my list.
I just saw one pop up that was my probably number 3 pick. Married with Children.
Ooh, that didn't make my list.
Married with Children.
Huh.
Oh, I love me some Al Bundy. And Bud and Kelly. Kelly was so stupid that you had to laugh at her.
Yeah, she was kind of ditzy, for sure. But I mentioned this once before on a previous episode, when Al Bundy would find one of her dates in the house, and he would casually escort him out.
Yes.
And just accidentally bang his face right into the wall. Or
one of my favorite episodes was right around Christmas time. Santa was jumping out of a helicopter or an airplane or something.
And landed on their roof.
His chute didn't open, and he landed in their backyard.
That's
died.
Right. I remember, yeah.
And so they call the coroner, and the coroner comes out, and he's a super popular actor. I don't know. He's more of a character actor. But as they're wheeling the body out, he's wearing this big gaudy ring, and he goes, "Let me give you a tip, Bundy. Never die with your good jewelry on."
Oh. All right, you have one more?
And my third pick.
Yes.
And this one is very contemporary.
Okay.
It's Modern Family.
Okay.
I think Modern Family is the most brilliantly written sitcom on TV right now, at least.
Okay, I beg to differ, but
it's brilliant.
I think it's a little cheesy.
I freaking love it.
You know, there's so many left, Ronnie. Go ahead and give your 3 that you have.
Okay, so I started out with the number 1 pick of all, Friends. Then I went to Married with Children, and then I got Modern Family.
The reason we're recapping here is because the time has come for you to vote as to who will go home with the trophy today in our Mantasy Draft picks. And I have one remaining pick. I have chosen Seinfeld. I have chosen
Andy
Griffith Show. And I believe I'm going to go with...
Don't say it.
Cheers.
Oh, that's a good one. It was in chat. In fact, somebody brought it up in chat.
Sweet. Nicely done. And I got a vote there, I would think.
Yep.
Okay, so once again, your votes right now. The trophy is on this side of the table this week. I won last week, and
I think it's changing hands.
Well, I don't know, Ronnie. I think we have 2 very good teams. Now, remember that when you're voting, it's not just one. It's the culmination of all of them, the combination of all 3.
It's tied up right now. It's Sledneck.
Okay, are you actually
Sledneck,
keeping
me.
track?
So.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
What?
Rick says you win.
Lou wins again.
Yep. So, there's where we're at right now.
2-1, okay. Get those votes pouring in. Come on, folks.
Some votes coming in.
Okay.
And I got to tell you, for me, Friends was 1 and...
Close, but Lou wins.
Okay. Friends was 1, but Seinfeld was a close second. And
Sasha says Lou.
And the only reason is there are so many Seinfeldisms,
oh, for sure,
if you will, that I hear people use every day. So it was 1 and 1A, but I really went. In fact, I stayed up kind of late last night. I watched an episode of Friends, and it was pretty. It's still funny today.
Oh, I'll watch it if it's one of the choices in the afternoon or something. If I get home early, I know it's on at about 4:00.
Ain't B says you win. That's from Kim Blythe.
Ain't B. Based on the Andy Griffith Show. I love that show so much.
Fingers. Rave Ryder says Lou gets it.
Hey, Rave Ryder. We want to hear more from you. That's a new name.
That is a new name.
That's awesome. Sledneck says, yes, they are real. And they are spectacular.
Lou for the win, says Dustin.
All right. You know, he brought up a good one, Lou and Ronnie Fan 500. Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Those were...
It's kind of limited because that was only on HBO.
Yeah, it was a little bit of an out there thing. I didn't watch it. I can't say I didn't watch it. I watched it whenever we had a trial subscription to HBO.
Right, yeah. The Gary Shandling Show.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. Oh, and then some of my ne'er-do-wells. I Love Lucy.
I Love Lucy was almost going to make it, but I just felt that it was...
I'm with you on that one. It's on my list, though.
It's a little too old.
MASH.
Yeah. Yep, MASH was...
It had such a sad theme,
okay,
though.
Here's one, and this one I thought it may eliminate part of this fan base, but what about the Dick Van Dyke Show? Yep. That show, I've absolutely seen every episode 10 times over. It used to play at noon, and way back in the day when I worked for the Honda dealership, I would come home for lunch.
Oh, that's sweet. I love that.
And I would watch Dick Van Dyke.
Yeah.
I love that show.
So did I.
And again, every show had a little bit of a moral to it. Not so much as Andy Griffith. Andy Griffith was really lesson based, but you learned a little something on the Dick Van Dyke Show. I'm sure that was part of their...
In that same vein, Ronnie, I had Mary Tyler Moore Show.
Oh, yeah. What about Bewitched?
Oh, yeah, with
Bewitched.
Darren.
There's
Sabrina.
so many good sitcoms, but I really think that we pulled out the top 6.
Comedy includes tragedy. Sledneck, you're right.
Yeah, it does. Yep.
You're absolutely right, buddy.
Honeymooners. Now that's going back a little bit.
Remember that story we talked about at the Autorama yesterday? Oh, no, that was the Jackie Gleason. No, that's right. Jackie Gleason on the Honeymooners.
Yes.
When he was learning how to play golf and the step was address the ball. You didn't hear this story?
Oh, I missed that.
Jackie Gleason is with Ralph Cramden.
Yeah.
And he's trying to learn to play golf. And he's got one of these like berets on with a little tassel on the
He was
top.
Tiger Woods before Tiger
Exactly,
Woods.
yeah. He's got all the golf attire on. And so he's got this book in his hand. And he goes, okay, next step, address the ball. Hello, ball. All right, the trophy remains in my corner. I'm declaring myself the winner at this point. Ronnie, you're down 2 weeks in a row, and you should just be you know what? Shame.
Yep, that's really...
Thank you, viewers. I appreciate this. It's just kind of a little thing between the two of us. Okay, so the biggest news of the week, Ronnie, the biggest news I can think of in all the world, Jason and Sasha got engaged.
Oh, yeah. And you know what?
I guess she said yes.
Apparently.
Even with his nose in this condition.
Yes. I just happened to be on Facebook when the news came out. I'm pretty sure I was the first one to congratulate them on Facebook.
Well, maybe I should give you the trophy back.
They are engaged. Right. And then somebody asked if one of us was going to officiate the ceremonies.
Oh, I can.
Yeah, Lou's an official officiant.
Yeah, I'm an ordained minister.
Universal Life Church,
yep.
I think. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I married my son-in-law and my daughter together.
That sounds a little creepy.
I know, that's why I want son-in-law first.
I married my daughter.
That's why I wasn't going there.
Were you from Arkansas or something?
I have a filter. It's a very small filter, but I have one.
And I apologize in advance to my Arkansas viewers and my father-in-law.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Is he from Arkansas?
He is.
Got it. Yep. Okay, so Lou will, or as an ordained minister, will perform the ceremony. I don't know where they're going to hold it. Will it be in Kansas, you think?
Yeah, and it looks like they...
Oh, yeah, she says, Lou, you have to come to Kansas.
Yeah, they probably going to hold it on base. So they have a chaplain on base that...
Oh, sure, yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah, so...
Mm-hmm. No, you know what? We should demand that they come out to California because it's more convenient for me.
I think that's a reasonable demand. Yeah, let's go with that.
All right. So congratulations, you two.
Oh, you know what?
We have so much love for both of you. And,
absolutely.
Yeah. And poor Jason, he went through NERS.
Nose.
He went through nose. No, I can't even say it.
I'll say it for you.
Okay.
He went through nose surgery.
There
you go.
Wow. And I think he's still... one thing I remember from my surgery was pain medication, having to take that, and what it does to your bowels.
Oh boy. Or lack of.
Yeah, it is lack of. Exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You get a little stopped up.
Lou, how generous of you to pay for our trip to California.
You know what? I just had a complete brainstorm. This would be an amazing idea. You guys go to Fenbury and have the ceremony there. Would that be awesome?
Well, I can't. You know what? A wedding is all about the bride. So if Sasha says that's awesome, then I'm with her.
Obviously up to Sasha.
I'm not going to go out there.
Throwing that out there. I think that's a pretty good idea.
It would be kind of nice.
Yeah.
But it's her day, and she can do exactly what she wants.
I don't think Jason's a fan of that.
Nah, probably not.
Yep.
Okay, so that's some big news that took place over the last week with Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day. What a great day to kind of pull the trigger on that.
So I went to a party on Valentine's Day evening, and I was dreading going to this party because for whatever reason, I'd formulated it in my mind that it was going to be this small dinner gathering with, maybe 6 or 8 people.
Yeah.
And you know how I feel about small talk, and I just drives me nuts. If somebody brings up the weather, I'm like out the door so fast. You just go.
But the weather's been so nice the last few days.
True.
It's so nice. You almost have to talk about it.
Ronnie, I'm going to leave. That's your first warning right there. So I went to a party, and it was comprised of so many of my old classmates from El Camino High School here in Sacramento.
Yep.
And the decorations for Valentine's Day, they turned it into like a love shack. They had all these, shiny hearts hanging on strings from the ceiling, and
Wow.
red carpets all over the wall, and signs. And Leslie, who put the party on, her husband Jack, is an artist, so we had all these LOVE paintings, and
Wow.
it was a great party. The food was awesome. It was not really like a sit-down dinner, which I thought it was going to be, which was fine by me. I think one of the things that was chicken and waffles, like a little slice about that big or so.
Yeah.
And all the beer you could drink, and mixed drinks and wine, and oh my God, what a nice party it was.
Great party.
It really was. And I'm so glad. And I had such anxiety.
I was busy that night, so I appreciate the invite.
You're welcome. I would be remiss if I did not remind you. And speaking of that, it's not as if we don't already spend enough time together.
Right.
Yesterday, we went to the Sacramento Autorama. It's the 70th annual. This is the car mecca for car people.
In fact, if anybody's in the greater Sacramento area, it's on today also.
Yeah, it goes till
10
6.
till 6.
It goes to 6 Pacific time today.
So you can stick around. You can watch all of Mass and still make it there on time.
Yeah, and we have a time limitation today because the Daytona 500 comes on in a couple hours.
That's true.
Yeah, and everything's going to stop at my house for
We
that.
should pick some favorites on that. We should pick some winners.
Okay.
Because I have 2.
All right. I have two.
Okay.
Now I think about it.
You know what?
We can't pick 2 because only one can win.
I think 2. Well, all right.
All right.
All right.
We know what we'll do. We'll pick 2.
But
you got to pick one of those 2.
Pick your favorite, and then your sentimental favorite. How about that? No, like in your heart of hearts.
Well,
this is who I hope wins, but it's a long shot.
Yeah, but I don't think Dale Earnhardt Jr. is going to win, and that would be my sentimental pick. So I don't know if that works for me.
All right,
but we'll pick 2.
But yes, we were together yesterday for like 5 hours.
Yeah.
Beyond that, because I got to the radio station, at like 7:30.
Right.
And then we didn't leave Autorama until about like 12:30 maybe, and a quick 2-minute trip back to the
radio
station.
Studio.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. I have a letter, an email, I should say. I'm sorry. We call it the mailbag, so I think letters. We have an email about Daytona 500 coming up, so we'll save it for that.
Perfect.
So Ronnie and I were at the Autorama yesterday. It was the 70th annual, and I broadcast from that. Yeah, and I got an email about that Friday. Are you going to be doing your radio show from there?
Right.
Are you still doing your radio show? Yes, just so you know, because it can be heard around the world.
Right.
Live or in podcast form. It's called the K-Hits Garage, K-H-I-T-S Garage with Lou Gallagher. And it's heard at 6:30 a.m. on Saturday mornings Pacific time. And it's just an hour long. And I got to tell you, it flies by.
Yep.
Now, in the event that you'd like to listen to it live, the website is 1015khits.com, K-H-I-T-S.com. Or you can find a podcast version there of shows from the last 2 years. And you go to the website, there's a drop-down menu for hosts. You go to my picture, my name and my picture, you click on that, and then a free media player comes up, and you can listen to it. And you know what? All the commercials and the 3 songs are cut out of that, so it's about 40 minutes.
Right.
A 40-minute podcast. So there you go. Go to 1015khits.com for more information on the K-Hits Garage. Okay.
But there were some flat, amazing cars there yesterday. We were there probably a full hour, if not a little bit more, before it opened.
No people.
And it was only people that had cars on display there.
Right.
And most of them were doing last minute touch up and rubbing out and polishing and what have you, vacuuming their carpets on their display. I saw one guy doing.
I saw two guys doing it had their shoes off.
Yes.
Did you notice that?
Oh, absolutely. But you get to look at the cars. I must have taken 40 pictures of cars with no people blocking them. That's what I hate about going to car shows.
Yeah, you're
a lot
right.
of
I didn't
times.
think about that, Ronnie.
It's people in the backgrounds and what have you.
Photobombing.
These are all just pure car pictures. I can't wait. They're all on my kind of professional camera, so they're not on my phone. If I get them loaded to my phone or my iPad, maybe we'll show them next week.
Well, if you can get them to me, I can post them on our Facebook page.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I'll do that.
I don't think that'd be too hard. If I do it from my laptop, it'd be easier. Okay, so Ronnie, remember that one with the mirrors we were talking about?
Yes. Yeah. It was cleaner. The underside of this guy's car was cleaner than my car.
Yeah, completely.
And I keep my car spotless.
Right.
This you could flip it over and eat off the bottom of this guy's car and not worried about catching coronavirus.
Was that a Camaro? I can't recall.
No. What the hell car was that? Was that Charger? I'm sorry, that was that
Superbird? No.
No.
We saw Superbird.
It was the black. It was a Charger RT.
Oh,
it was
right.
The black Charger RT with the white
Oh,
stripes.
man, that thing looked like the Batmobile.
Yeah, that was badass.
Wow, that was cool.
Yep.
They have
70.
They have over 500 cars.
Yes.
Indoors at our California exposition. And then they have something called the drive-in, which is just outside.
Yep.
And they get about 250 more cars out there, depending on weather. And yesterday was a beautiful day here.
Perfect.
So Ronnie and I are in heaven. I do a radio show about cars. I should have mentioned that. That's what the show is. I thought you'd know from Garage, but and so Ronnie and I have been a car guy, each of us, for a really long time.
Oh man,
I didn't see one Firebird yesterday.
Didn't either. I saw several '69 Camaros.
I know.
Makes me drool. I can't wait to get mine done now.
Yeah, I wish you could see it. It's sitting right over here.
Yeah, sitting right there. You can see the fender.
You can't see
the rest
fender.
of it's covered up.
Oh yeah, right. The car cover.
Car cover's on it.
Okay, how about the live chat, Ronnie? Bring us up to speed before I move on to the next segment.
So let's see. Dak says, "Looking good, Ronnie. How much weight have you lost?"
Oh, don't get him started on that.
Yeah, Matt. We met Matt, one of our viewers, yesterday, and he goes, "You know what? You can tell you've lost weight on the show, but he goes in person, it's dramatic." And so, as of today, I've lost 44 pounds.
Damn, Ronnie.
Yeah.
That's like a small child.
I actually hit my second goal. My first goal was 200. My second goal was at 190. Now I've set my next goal at 180. That may be right where I stop.
I was going to say, maybe you should just, when you get to 40, that's probably too much.
When I start to look like Jason Momoa in those, the commercial, that's when I'm going to stop.
All right, live chat.
Ricky Stenhouse on the pole. Alex Bowman. It is Bowman, and he's one of those dark horses that I was going to talk about. He is. I think he's got a good shot today.
Okay, talk to me about a little more NASCAR, and I'll get to that in the letter.
Kyle or Kevin Harvick, Larson maybe. Let's see. Don't count out Jimmy Johnson or Ryan Newman.
Jimmy Johnson had a really strong car at the end of the race, but he was a dump truck for the first two segments.
Well, and what's great about this season for him, it's his last. This is his 19th season.
Yeah. 7-time champion.
He's 7-time champion. I think he's won 83
I think that's
races.
Unheard of. I mean, he's the Michael Jordan.
He really is. He's surpassed the King.
Richard Petty.
Yeah. I mean, he's really remarkable. And you know what's the best about him? He's from right here in California.
Yeah.
El Cajon, which is Southern California. It's way Southern California.
As is Kyle Larson, who's from Elk Grove, even closer.
Kyle Larson's in our freaking backyard.
Right.
Kyle Larson. I've
never called a race with him in it, though, before.
Really?
Yeah. I wasn't at the right track.
I like Kyle Larson just because of his California connection.
Me too.
But you know what? Same thing with Jimmy. I'm a big Jimmy fan. And so was Jeff Gordon. Jeff Gordon was from, I can't remember.
Vallejo.
Vallejo, that's right.
All right, Ronnie, let's go into the mailbag.
Okay.
We have two emails today. The first one is from Stephanie. And she writes, Lou and Ronnie, Sunday is the Daytona 500 and the beginning of the NASCAR race season.
That's right.
My husband, David, shifts gears and does absolutely nothing around the house when a race is on. How can I get him off the couch? Signed, Stephanie. All right. Whoops. Sorry about the slam there.
Stephanie, do you like being married to Jason? To him?
Yeah.
What was his name? Jason?
David.
David. Sorry. Do you like being married to David? Because if you do, don't try to get him off the couch during the Daytona.
Well, no, not today.
Look at it this way.
This is the Great American Race.
This is NASCAR's Super Bowl.
And they do it the first week of the season.
The first week of the season is crazy to run your Super Bowl at the beginning of the year.
And these cars are going right now, they're averaging 206 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Around a 2.5 mile racetrack.
Yeah.
Well, Stephanie, I say, you know what? If he's a working guy, he goes to work every day, he does his share with the bills, and let him have some happiness.
Hey, it's one day. Yeah. Or maybe two if he watches
Now,
Super Bowl also. But
it doesn't say whether or not he's going to do this for every race.
Oh, that's different.
That's me. I do that.
Yeah.
I try to get a lot of stuff done on Saturday so I can do that on Sunday, which is
Right.
what I'm going to do today.
Right.
So I say, let him enjoy it. I'm sure there are times when you're watching something that you're really into, and like with my wife, it was Downtown Abbey or some crap. I don't know.
I think it's Downton.
Whatever. Just go away, Downtown Abbey. Downton Abbey. Okay, so I think if it becomes a habit where he's doing it every single week and things are not getting done, then I think you have some room to grieve.
Well, yeah. I mean, absolutely. But hey, it's not like he's going out to strip clubs or something. This is a pretty tame pastime.
Yeah.
So, you know what? Maybe if you watch a couple soap operas and he watches a couple NASCAR races, call it even.
Yeah, it's a wash.
Yeah.
Okay, Stephanie, thank you. Good luck with David. We appreciate that. Next letter. Dear Lou and Ronnie. Oh, boy.
Here we go.
Oh, this one, Ronnie, I didn't tell you about.
Uh-oh.
Dear Lou and Ronnie, I popped the question to my girlfriend on Valentine's Day, and she said yes.
Oh, that's awful. Oh, no, that's probably good.
That's good.
That's good, yeah.
Here's where it gets awful.
Okay.
Only problem? ? Now I've changed my mind. What do I do?
Is that from Jason by any chance?
No. Good one, Ron. Oh, my. Well, we don't know if something happened. Did she do something? Did she say something? Did she not like the ring?
Here's my suggestion. There's this episode of Seinfeld just like this, where George proposes to, can't think of what her name is.
Emily? No.
It might be. But he proposes, and then he decides,
nah,
I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And so he takes up smoking. And
oh, I remember that, yeah.
He does a whole bunch of things that would annoy the shit out of any woman, and she's not budging. And so finally,
no surprise there,
they're mailing out their invitations.
Oh, yeah.
And George went for the cheapest envelopes.
Mm-hmm.
They were from China, and it turns out the sticky on the back of the envelopes was poisoned, and she died.
She died.
So you might go buy some cheap Chinese envelopes.
There you go. That's the answer to the question right there. Right there. Buy envelopes today.
Make sure they're from Wuhan, China.
All right. What do we got on live chat?
Let's see. So Tony Russi, I'm sure this is in response to the NASCAR question, says worship him.
Yeah, worship.
Oh, get him into treasure
hunting. That's a little strong.
Lednick said.
Yeah, car racing and treasure hunting go hand in hand.
The truck race was good. I didn't actually watch that.
I was at that party.
I try not to get into too much racing.
Yeah, that is a lot.
There
was Hailie Deegan was mentioned a little earlier. I saw.
Yes.
I could not be more proud of that girl. She is spectacular. Sorry.
She's a real racer.
She's the real deal, folks.
Yeah,
you're going to see
racer.
her. She will be the next NASCAR female driver since the departure of Danica. Goodbye. Good riddance.
Slednick says our last email there has buyer's remorse.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Kind of what it is.
Envelopes. Ronnie had the answer.
And you know what? I'll tell you this. I'm sure that everybody goes through just a tiny bit of that when they're looking at their bachelorhood going away. You think about it.
If you've gotten to the point where there are plans made, a church secured, a venue for the reception, if you're at that point,
there's no turning back.
You can't go back, bud.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Ronnie, what about this? Do you get married and be miserable for the rest of your life?
Yes.
Oh.
That's the answer.
There's no second part of that question then, I guess. Or do you terminate it now so that doesn't happen to you and maybe eventually you find the right person?
Mel Drum says, get in the pool. Shrinkage might solve the problem. I think everybody's familiar with shrinkage. So, move to Montana and hide out. That's possible.
Here's some advice. Don't move to Kansas.
No. Proposing on Valentine's Day is kind of like having it notarized.
It's a done deal.
That's from JT.
Good point.
Yeah.
I mean, didn't you feel this when you bought the ring?
And then Jason says, I told you to not to share that email.
Oh, we didn't mention your name, Jason. It's not like we mentioned your name.
Sasha got kind of quiet.
Yeah, she did. She's usually a little boisterous than that. All right. Okay, Ronnie, I got a great question for everybody watching and for us as well. Have I mentioned how much we appreciate you watching every week? Have I mentioned that?
I was just saying before the show that we have some of the greatest listeners, and we got to meet 3 of them yesterday. It's so much. I mean, it's like having your best buddies.
Yeah.
Show up. We just talk.
Right.
And it's like talking to your best friend.
Right.
So
and that's people describe this show that way. They always go, watching you guys is like sitting around on a tailgate of a truck and having a couple of beers and just BSing. And you know what? If that is your perception, then we've done our job because that's what we are going for. Yeah. That's what this show is about. We say it's 2 grumpy old guys with their opinions.
Right.
It's a little more than that. Yeah. I like to think it is, And then there's a whole thing about the name of the show, the Men Are So Smart thing.
Right.
I don't know how many times I have to say this. It does not say men are smarter than women. It doesn't say that. We don't even claim that. And we know it's not true. Even better, okay?
Yep.
So be proud. Be proud to wear the T-shirts. Have you got yours yet? Look at the descriptor below, and you'll find all the information. All right, Ronnie, a question for everyone watching.
Okay.
What if you had all the money in the world, but were still required to have a job? What would it be?
I think I would be the guy that puts the hot oil on the Swedish bikini team.
That's good work when you can get it.
Yeah. Driving around in that bus. Yeah. I did it for one summer. I wish.
I would be the coach of the Sacramento Kings.
Oh, well, you can do any worse than Walton is.
Well, I wouldn't set my goals quite that low. But I have some thoughts on the NBA. You want to talk a little sports?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I love talking Kings.
And you know what else too? And you see a lot of high school basketball games.
Football and basketball.
Yeah, true.
Basketball more so than anything.
Yeah, they got a couple games a week usually.
Yeah.
Okay, so I played, as you well know, I played high school basketball. I was a starting center on my team, and I was 6'3", I don't know, maybe about 245, 250 pounds.
You also played center. Oh, did you say football?
Yeah.
Oh,
basketball.
Yeah.
Basketball.
Well, because you were the center on football also.
I was.
So,
but not baseball.
Yeah.
I didn't play baseball.
You didn't play center.
I love baseball. It's my favorite of the 3 sports.
You played Little League, though, because...
Sure.
Didn't you break Mick Mullaney's arm or something?
I did. The drummer in our band. I broke his arm at a play at the plate.
Spikes high.
Yeah. So basketball. Look, here's what I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to say basketball sucks because of the 3-point play. Shall I elaborate?
Yes.
Okay. Basketball is not a game where you just pass the ball and see how far you can shoot it from. A good basketball team, when they come out on the floor for the very first quarter, will design their offense so that every play is some sort of a trip down the lane. Now, what happens when you take the ball down the lane? Number one, you're going to have a tendency to get higher percentage shots.
Yeah.
Number two, there's a propensity that you will be fouled in the act of shooting.
Right.
Number three, when you drive the ball down the lane, the defense moves. The defense shifts. The defense allows you to kick the ball out to someone who then could shoot a 3-point or less shot.
Right.
Okay? The other thing about this that I feel is really tall guys don't like to be roughed up.
No.
As a center at 6'3", I played against guys that were 6'10" or even taller. And so I was obviously at a height disadvantage. But I'm telling you, and I hope you don't take this the wrong way, but when you played a basketball game against me, the next morning, you were pretty certain you knew how that happened.
You might be a little bit black and blue in the morning. Where'd this bruise come from? Oh, they're all over my body.
And sometimes an elbow goes out and you don't mean it.
Right.
It wouldn't be intentional. So what I'm saying is, I think the 3-point play has ruined the game because these players have become pansies and they don't like to get involved in physical rough-ups underneath the basket. Also, when you drive the ball to the basket, the rebounds don't go quite as far.
Right.
And so, you're able to get more offensive rebounds or equally defensive rebounds, depending on where you stand. So I'm saying that the 3-point play has ruined professional basketball.
I think and Buddy Hield from the Sacramento Kings won the 3-point shooting contest last night. So
I did not know that.
Yep. So hats off to him. He was also the fastest NBA player ever to make it to 800 3-point shots, I believe. Wait. Yeah, I think it was 800 3-pointers, and he's the fastest ever to make it there. So good on him. But I will tell you, if you didn't have the 3-point play, every team would have Bill Lambier, just clogging up the middle, and anytime you come in, you're getting an elbow to the jaw. And I think when they're looking at player longevity, the 3-point line lengthens careers. Frickin' Dirk Nowitzki would have never been in the NBA had it not been for the 3-point line. He's 7 feet tall or thereabouts, and he drains threes like they're going out of style. So it has opened up the game. I'll tell you this. I watched the high school game the other night. My son went to this high school. It's called Jesuit High School, and they're a local Catholic school here. And they play very fundamental basketball. They have a couple kids that are tall, and they were taller by far than the team that they played. The team that they played drove the ball, kicked it out, 3-point shot. And that's what they did. They lived by the 3-point play. They can't match up in the middle. There's no way they can match up in the middle. They didn't even try. And Jesuit does exactly what you were saying. They have a guy that drives the lane, and as soon as he gets close and the defense collapses, somebody's cutting backdoor, they flip it backdoor, layup.
Absolutely.
They play very fundamental basketball, and they can also shoot threes, but they do play a more traditional style of basketball. They're in the playoffs. The team, and they lost the other night. My son's high school team lost, and but they're still in the playoffs. The team that beat them, It's not the playoffs. So
what do you think about that?
There was a little bit of neener from the other team, and then their rooting section said, "See you in the playoffs." Not. So.
And here's another thing, Ron. How many guys do you have on a basketball team? Do you know? 15?
Yes. Well, typically, I think you're allowed to have 14 or 15. Honestly, and this high school team the other night, they did something very unusual. They substituted 4 or 5 people at a time, and it was 3 different teams that they were rotating out there.
Which further illustrates this point. If you're playing a team that you're outsized by, you got 15 guys on your team. They each get 5 fouls apiece.
Right. Yeah.
Rough up the guys in the middle.
Yep.
And have fresh legs coming in.
Yep.
That's how you win basketball. That's how the Sacramento Kings can get to 500. That's how the Sacramento Kings can become a playoff team. And that's the only way it's going to happen. Otherwise, it's just going to be piss poor every season.
Well, and in the NBA, you get 6 fouls.
That's right.
And there's no shame in fouling out.
Hell no, especially if you're a bench player.
Freaking Ron Artest used to foul out when he was a King all the time. I loved it. DeMarcus Cousins would foul out often. And you know what? The radio hosts would get down on him because that means he's not available in the fourth quarter during critical time. I think that he was a liability in the fourth quarter anyway because he was going to take the ball. When he touched leather, he was not giving it up. And he would be triple teamed and still try to score, and he would get fouled, but they wouldn't call it. If you try to drive the lane against 3 other players, they're never going to call that foul unless somebody karate chops you in the throat. You got it. When you get triple teamed, toss it out. That means 2 people are open. So
we're in a stall right there. Yep.
Oh, there we go. We're back. We're back.
All right. Tell you what, I'm not sure how much longer we're going to have with you folks. So let's do which one of us is lying, Ron?
Oh, okay. All right. I won Rochambeau, so I'll go first.
Okay.
So not growing up, but when I was in my early 20s, I had like 2 different sets of friends. I still had my high school set of friends that were into cars, and then I had my party friends that came over to my apartment.
Uh-huh.
And so one night, my 2 universes met.
Collided?
They collided. And we went down to the Oasis Ballroom.
Oh, that was a big venue here in town.
That was a big venue. Big
for live music.
Live music dance place. So one of my groups met the other group, and this one group had this girl named Vicky that was there that I hadn't crossed paths with before. So we decided, and a couple of the girls were underage and could not get into Oasis Ballroom. It was a 21 and up venue.
Mm-hmm.
So we decided, hey, let's go to the drive-ins. I had a Chevy pickup truck that had a tonneau cover on the back.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said, I can sneak a gang of people in. You just gotta ride in the back of the truck
and get close to one another.
And we'll put the tonneau cover over. Everybody gets in free except for me. I'll pay, and we'll do. And everybody else can just go cars only. And drop the cars off outside. Everybody can sit in the back of my truck and watch the movie.
You rebel.
So that's what we did. Everybody jumped in the back of my truck. We drove through. I paid for a single admission, and after we got in, backed my truck into a spot. We all sat in the bed and we watched the movie.
Wow.
Yep.
I believe you.
That's the way it happened. And that's how I met my wife, by the way, my current wife.
You had a former wife? I don't know if she might take offense to that. My current, as if there could be someone else down the road.
That's how I met my first wife.
That's how you met your last wife, Ron. Sorry, Vicky. I apologize for Mr. Keto here. Okay, so my story. If you were watching last week, you'll know that I talked about this place where I worked. It was called the Classic Jukebox. And we did a lot of live music out of that venue. And I was the marketing guy and the DJ, so it was my job to introduce the band and bring them on stage and take them off stage, whatever. And when they would do their intermission, I would be backstage making sure that everybody had everything that they need food-wise, because I don't know if you know this or not, but a band has something called a rider. I know you know this.
Oh, yeah.
And on their rider, they specify what things they need to have.
Green
Sparkling
M&Ms.
waters, green M&Ms. Yeah, I never experienced anything that extravagant, but some people had demands. And one of those people was the big man. Do you know who the big man is?
No.
Clarence Clemens.
Oh,
the saxophone player for the E Street Band.
He's played sax for a lot of different bands.
He has.
Yeah.
So, but, he's been with Springsteen for many, many years.
Well, until he passed away.
Right. And so he came off stage. I brought him off stage, and I went back there with him, and I was hanging out. And on his rider, you know what he asked for?
No.
A couple bags of fried chicken.
That seems pretty reasonable. Go to Popeyes.
I don't remember where we got it from, but it was bagged fried chicken. And me and Clarence Clemens sat in the back talking about music, eating fried chicken.
Doesn't get a whole lot better than that.
And that's my story.
All right. That sounds pretty believable.
So who's lying?
Was the bag all greasy?
Oh my God, it was grease all over.
Grease coming through. That's the best kind.
I don't know how you can even play a saxophone. Whoa, shit, what happened there? All right, so which one of us is lying? You've heard the two stories. Ronnie snuck people into a drive-in.
Yep.
Lou ate fried chicken with Clarence Clemens, the big man from Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band, and various other bands. Which one of us is lying? Lou is lying, says Sledneck.
Yep. Well, if you knew me, you know I'm pretty thrifty.
Well, they may not know that.
Yeah, I'm kind of thrifty. I cut my own hair, which would explain why it looks like it does.
We call that a tuft. It's a tuft of hair.
We were
on
also
top.
talking today. I replaced my own watch batteries.
Right, yeah. God forbid you pay a jeweler.
Yeah, that's $5.
I know. $5 you could spend on batteries.
Yes.
How many watches do you have, by the way?
I have I have 3 boxfuls of watches, and each box holds 5 or 6 watches, and then I have 3 watches that don't fit into those boxes. So I probably have, honestly, and I have a couple that are on the sides of those boxes. I don't know. I probably have about 26 watches or something like that.
That is a lot.
Oh, I got it. You got to hate it when it's daylight savings time or it switches back to standard time.
All right.
Resetting all them watches.
People in the live chat, come on, get focused. Get back to the show here.
Who's lying?
Which one of us is lying? We need your guesses right now.
So far, consensus is Lou's lying.
Okay, my lie would have been that I ate fried chicken with Bruce Springsteen's
Clarence Clemens.
His saxophone player.
Yep.
Sorry.
And mine is that I went solo through the drive-in and I had people stacked up in the bed of my truck like cordwood.
Otis Magoo says Lou is lying.
Yep.
Jim Siri says both of us are lying. That's not the name of the game.
No.
One of us has to tell the truth. Otherwise, we can just get on here and make crap up.
We do a little bit of that
anyway. Yeah, we do.
Yeah, that's part of the show.
All right.
Oh, Lou, your nose is getting bigger.
Oh no, not that Geico commercial.
Yep. Jim Black says Lou. Rick Clemenson says Lou. Sasha says Ronnie. Jim Siri says okay, Lou's lying. Jason said, you know what? Sasha and Jason, they're like on a single front.
They're together.
They're fighting together.
Ronnie is lying.
Say I'm lying. They're a united front. Yes.
All right. So, which of our viewers?
Tony Russi says you're lying.
Which of our viewers is the best at determining when someone is lying and when they're not? We're waiting for your guesses before we wrap up this segment. I'm getting a little concerned about the glitches we're having and the battery power.
She says they didn't have tonneau covers in ancient times. So the tonneau cover I had on my truck, it wasn't like modern day tonneau covers. It was a vinyl one.
Yeah.
That had snaps.
Right.
All along the side.
Yep.
And
They were very light, it was like a jacuzzi cover.
very much like that. Yes, it was just like a seat cover. I mean, it was very thin. The problem with it was when it rained, the rain would cause it to stretch down and it would sink. And then I'd come out and there'd be this big divot in the middle of it.
Puddle.
And then it would slowly, after you drain the water out of it, it would slowly kind of come back into place, but it was never quite as taut as it was originally.
Tony Rusi says, I look for red ears, assimilating that liar's ears get red.
Yeah, well.
Okay, are we all done here?
Yeah, I think we're all in.
Only at the poker table, says Jungle Cruiser. Can he tell when someone's lying?
That's why you wear, my son plays a lot of Texas Hold'em, and he wears sunglasses.
Yep. All right, Ronnie, what do we do here, Stan? Who stands?
Telling the truth, you stand.
Okay. Will the person who is telling the truth please rise? I watched last week's version of this. It was so funny.
There we go.
I'm telling the truth.
Yep. Yeah. And see, and that's the art of telling a lie, is to mix in just enough truth that you don't give it away.
Right.
Because I didn't fly solo going through. Vicky, I had to pay for Vicky too.
Oh, you did?
So I'm thrifty, but I'm,
an opportunist. Okay, can you check the time for me, Ronnie? I'll go over my notes real quick.
Let's see, where are we at here?
I think I've done just
We're at
about
an hour 6.
Okay, so let's...
You know what? Let's pick our Daytona 500.
Oh, right, yeah. Okay,
winners.
Let's do that, yeah.
All right. Since I won Rochambeau.
How many things do you get to go first in?
Everything today. Yep. I'm going with Joey Logano, the number 22 Mustang.
Okay. Then I'll make my pick, and then we'll talk about the next pick.
All right.
I'll take Kevin Harvick for the win.
Solid. That's pretty solid.
Okay. And your second pick would be?
Jimmy Johnson.
My second pick will be, I just had it, now I forgot. Oh, Denny Hamlin.
Oh, he's fast.
Super fast.
He is fast.
Super fast.
Boy, that car.
Okay, so you heard it here first.
You know what? And I got to go Jimmy Johnson. I think that is his last year. I think they're just going to let him win.
Yeah, they're nice that way.
They're just going to all move out of the way. And
right,
go,
or just pull over.
Here you go, Jimmy, take it.
Yeah, that's probably what'll happen, Ron.
Yep.
And as fans, we don't have a problem with that.
No,
we don't need to see racing. We haven't been waiting since I don't even know when.
I don't mind if there's a bunch of racing before, like the last, 3 or 4 laps, but then just kind of move it over, let Jimmy cruise through.
Ken Bly says the big man insisted on 3 pieces of chicken. It was actually more like 6 or 9. And he ate every one of them. And he was literally sucking the meat off of the bone.
Wow. That's a man who loves his
but
chicken.
But let me tell you one other thing about that story, Ronnie, because then I bring him back on stage. And they roll into a Springsteen song. Well, and the saxophone part comes up. Clarence Clemens climbed down off of the stage, the big man, and he's wearing a cape that goes all the way down to his feet.
Freaking awesome.
He climbed down off of the stage with his saxophone, walked through the crowd while playing, and got up on top of the bar at the Classic Jukebox with his saxophone, just wailing on this thing.
Is that allowed? They always kick me off when I got on top of the bar.
You're not Clarence Clemens, Ron. I know you like chicken, but you're not Clarence Clemens. Okay, so there you have our picks. I'm going to go with Kevin Harvick and Denny Hamlin, and I think Harvick will win it ultimately.
We're glitchy.
Glitchy?
I'm saying Jimmy Johnson's my sentimental pick, but I think Joey Logano's got a really good shot.
Okay. All right, well, we're going to need to get out of here. We appreciate that you watch every Sunday morning. We hope you've enjoyed our mass today. Daytona 500 is probably where both of us will be spending most of our afternoon. And we will be back next Sunday morning at 8 a.m. We almost went at 9 today.
Yeah.
You tempted me. But that technically wouldn't be morning on the East Coast.
True that.
But if we went on at 8:58,
there we go.
Technically, it would be morning.
Yeah, we'd make it. We'd
All
cut
right.
that line.
Ronnie, let's make sure that they know that in the descriptors below, you can find, are we just glitched out? It's not even moving, huh?
It's cutting in and out.
Are you guys able to see us okay? Please tell us now,
Yeah.
or we're going to just drop it.
Or if it's just my computer that we're looking kind of audio